Mbabane Highlanders recorded a 3-0 win over Tambuti, sinking them further into the relegation zone. Manzini Bets missed out on a chance to return to the top 5 after conceding a late goal against Pirates. Mbabane Swallows, who can't afford any slip-ups at this point, were in search of maximum points when they travelled to the Mavuso Sports Centre to face relegation-threatened Dinyosi on Saturday. In the absence of Sandile Hlajwago, who was out celebrating his birthday, Nhlanhla Ngwenya was given a run. Hounded by injuries, interim coach Musa Manyati has been forced to try different player combinations with Sfiso Mabila out injured. Dinyosi, who have their calculators out already, know that every point counts and they cannot count on anyone except themselves if they are to see Premier League football next season. The host paraded their 2 new internationals, Riziki Hamisi from Tanzania and Kevin Debele from Zimbabwe on the day. Dinyosi were the quickest of the block and Muhle Dlamini almost capitalized from a defense error, Gininza stretching himself wide enough to keep it out. Close call for Swallows. Spila Dlamini had to be stretched off after sustaining a head injury. Felix Badenhorst came close to getting an opener, his header off target. Swallows continued with their dominance and were getting better chances compared to their opponents. After a couple of missed chances at close range, the Birds switched things up with long-range balls. That didn't yield any positives as the match was goalless at halftime. With Plan A failing to yield any positives, it was time for Plan B. Manyati introduced TP Mazembe, who was out in South Africa, attending a UEFA Assist and COSAFA Career Transition Program alongside Fela. Swallows were toying with danger at the back, Dinyosi failing to capitalize on that. Dinyosi almost got the better of Sandile Gininza with a well-executed grass shot. James Nguluve came closer to opening things up for Swallows, his shot just off the target. As the saying goes, experience is the best teacher. Titi's shot ruffling the crossbar, Ngwenya following up to squeeze it home. Talk about being in the right place at the right time. Swallows held on to take all 3 points.
It's in a project. It's 3 points. We have to collect 3 points. Because it's a repeat game. As much as we're doing, you see the way we're sending a corner, we're sending fighting spirit. Then it's a thing they say, corner Mbabane Swallows. Lama point is wathola kanjalo. Sitawagrinda so lama point because now last 30 corner asikahlali kahle, but I'm happy because tomorrow sikhuluma lamhla ebusuku Swallows number 3. Last funa khona sigela number 3. We're okay. We still 3 points sigela number 3. We're okay right now.
Kube kabi kona, but ke they are the senior team. Ngilabe sisokuhluka khona le quality because I felt like we created better chances. Bona they created just 1 or 2 and they made use of one of them. That is how we lost. After all on the game, we kubalwa lama goal. So ngilapho la bese le better quality sita khona. But yeah, I'm proud of my boys. Fighting and holding Mbabane Swallows. He came all the way kuze kuyofika le kubo 87 or so. They did well. We'll take it from there.
Struggling Manzini Wanderers were out to end their 7-game winless streak when they hosted Bobejane in a Saturday afternoon encounter at the Mavuso Sports Centre. With a new coach at helm, Liweseli were hoping for a better luck in results that would see them move from the 9th spot to a zone that's not far off the relegation zone. Sihle Mkhonda and Pepelo Mapanga were given a run, their first of the season with Wanderers. Tabankulu Kellis, who are having their best run since their promotion to top-flight football, were eyeing a top 5 entry. Bobejane have had a stellar run so far, having recorded wins against defending champions Royal Leopard and Mbabane Swallows, showing how tricky they can be on a good day. The visitors circled quick and were on attack in the opening stages of the match and were well rewarded through Nelly Somyeni in the 7th minute. Questionable defending from Wanderers, great team goal for Kellis. Mthunzi Mota came close to levelling matters, but his attempt way off the target. Wanderers were not slowing down, throwing all they can up front. Patizo Mabuza's shot saved by Nganawe Dladla, who was well positioned. Kallis were whipping in great balls from set pieces positions, which were proving hard to contain for the host. Lokcelago utophiwa longongothako uyovulelwa, and that was evident a couple of minutes later. Wanderers were not to be denied, Mabuza pouncing home in the 45th minute. That's how the half will end, with a 1-1 scoreline. At the restart of the second half, Wanderers were in search of a quick goal. Neliswa Dlamini's attempt not threatening at all. Dladla was called to action soon after. His flexes enough to punch the ball out of danger. Wanderers almost had a moment of brilliant courtesy of Fabrice Mopina. Dladla kept the visitors at bay, securing them a point. A crucial point for Sfiso Nurantibane and the boys away from home. The journey continues for Coach Velekaya with his first point in charge.
A tough game. We were physical. We started slow and we conceded, but we managed, which is Sibuye, equalize. I think we have to work on composure going forward, and my transitions that we are not quick enough going forward. Must win the ball, but we process very
important point away against Manzini Wanderers. And critical moments of the game caught us today. We were leading 1-0 last 2 minutes to half time. So lose the concentration by Spanish and Ngamagashi second ball. Otherwise, basic plan level, we knew they are at home, away. We are a small team. We had to contain them and get them on the counter. That is why now even second half. First half, we lose the concentration. Sabaniga more room to make it, but we win second ball. But now we are second half, because our strikers will conduct the gap between the lines. So our strikers and the make. Then some rectify logo. Sakona back combat and best breaker on the counter, and they couldn't create any chance because they were solid. Instead, it's in the basic threat to counter.
Nhlangano fans were on Sunday treated to a Manzini derby, pitting Manzini Seabeds and Moneni Pirates at the King Sopoza II Memorial Stadium. Not so orthodox, proving how tricky this encounter will be for both teams. Seabeds, who started the season like a house on fire, are soon learning how hard life can be at the top. They do say the higher you go, the colder it becomes. Choko's experience came in handy, forcing a save from Bexisa Dlamini. Pirates Xolani Ngwenya should have done better from a set-piece position. Seabeds Jabulani Mabuza was called to the rescue after a superb run from Allen Mabuza. Soon after, Seabeds were awarded a penalty after Elwazi Mamba's foul on Xolani's Banze. Choko stepped up, but his first kick was saved by the keeper. However, his follow-up was not to be denied. 1-0 to Union Zolwandle, taking a much-needed lead to half-time. Pirates were threatening at the restart of the second half. Begumuzi Mamba came close to extending Seabeds' lead, but it wasn't to be. Just like a ticking time bomb, time was of essence for Pirates, throwing everything up front in search of an equalizer. Mabuza failed to capitalize on Mpendulo Thomas' cross. Pirates were throwing numbers up front in search of an equalizer. Mabuza was not having the best day, missing out on yet another chance. Seabeds were not slowing down in a bid to put the match beyond Pirates' reach. Pirates were handed a lifeline with the referee pointing to the spot. Meshaglu Shaba made it count for Pirates in the closing stages of the match. A crucial point for Pirates.
In a game of football, we create my chances. Kufuna wa 70s, now our 70s, they will get one chance and punish you. Tawubona setawuhlala phasi sibuke ukuthi nguphi la singalungisa khona looking at lama injuries la sakhona nya. But nje we have a very good.
I think the fans got what they deserve today. I think even the 1-1 result, I think it's a fair outcome. It was a very close game. The only thing that could have decided this game was set pieces like they had a penalty or the penalty. But I'm happy for my boys. They played very well today. It's just that getting a point is so important for us, and it was starting to get me worried that what is happening. But you know what, these boys, they fought very well today. We played.
It was an issue of North versus South in the MTN Premier League when bottom of the lock Rangers hosted Young Buffaloes in an early encounter at the King's Opposite the Second Memorial Stadium. With the odds highly against them, Rangers were hoping the underdog status will help them fly undetected under the radar. Young Buffaloes were first on the scoring board, courtesy of Sandile Kamete. Mbonga Matsebula almost scored a second goal a couple of minutes later, but he's shot wide of target. It was a one-way traffic with Rangers defense clearly feeling the heat. Mpendule Dlamini's first touch a letdown, missing out on a golden opportunity to extend Buffalo's lead. Phumlani Ngobese was called to the rescue deep into the half after a defensive error at the back that almost gifted Rangers their first of the match. The hosts were growing in confidence as Pamandla Mabuza blasting it through defense. Minutes later, Mduduzi Ngomezulu's slight touch proved vital to keep out Lindom Konda's power shot from a free kick position. Young Buffalo's keeper Ngobese produced a good save after a heated attempt from Sibonelelo Mhlanga. Rangers continued testing the keeper from a distance. Rangers continued pushing for an equalizer. Mncedisi Mhlanga attempt tipped over by the keeper. Gwaket Fala came to Buff's rescue in the closing stages of the half, clearing it off the line. Mazibuko brought some life into the match, netting Buffalo's second of the match. Mazibuko was not done as of yet, netting his second, Buff's third on the day, 3-0 to Amatole Ezinyati. Rangers had a lot of catching up to do, but a goal was not forthcoming. Lindelwa Dlamini should have done better. His shot wide of the target. A relapse in concentration proved too costly for the host, Ali Mate, benefiting from a goalkeeping error, squeezing it home. That's how the match will end 4-0 in favor of Amatole.
Because lebe sikufisile ukuthi nalebe sikulungisela ma sessions zethu ukuthi sithole early goal because sidlala away, so kusisebenzele because 8 minutes bese sikuthola. Ngicabanga ukuthi sibonile ibuya ngemandla i-Rangers, but khona kwi-containers ngoba inangethu sifanele siba-contain bese singaba-container bese siyakhona ukubavula nabadlala bona kuvuleka lama-breaks khona bese sibathole khona.
Can't lie, and I'm happy. Ngalesinye isikhathi kube khona nabo ukuthi ujabule na udliwa because of the category alama teams. We have lost to a big team and a better team, but the boys, they've played very well. First half we did exactly lebe sekuplanile ukuthi ufuna siyokwenda ukuthi iBuffaloes basebenzisa ipower play as much as basakufuna lokudlala le ball. So thina sihambeni siyodlala le ball, and we did that in first half, but then second half that again early goal elingenile lase liyaba demoralizer base bayihluleka ukupick their spirit up. Otherwise I'm happy about the performance, and it gives me ukuthi kukhona la khona sitawuqhuma siye khona.
A confirmation of your result. Babane Highlanders recorded a 3-0 win over Tambuti, sinking them further into the relegation zone. Manzini missed out on a chance to return to the top 5 after conceding a late goal against Pirates.